20th round of this year's TM Master Cup Series Championship takes place at the Autodromo Daniel Estevam in Brazil. Melanie Clavino has won the Delano Pole Award in car number 2 with Leonid Roderick in the number 4 Volpe on the outside of the front row. He was quickest in practice. Lewis Kingston is another sensational qualifying effort in row 2. Lynx Racing is back as you see Yuliana Sova puts that car in row 3. Former teammates in row 4, Scott Bates in car 88 in row 5 with Kevin Dwyer. D'Souza and Johans in row 6. Ian Cooper is strong in the 73 car, new colors on that machine. Cameron Taylor has taken over the 6 car from Jacob Card, who was injured in an automobile accident on his way to the airport to come to this race. Woodard and Davenport in row 10. Taub in car 21, excellent effort in qualifying. Derek Scheiter on the inside of row 13, his first ever TM Master Cup Series start. Gabriel Messena and Tom Moore, who's moved over into the car that Cameron Taylor vacated. Olenek and Dilks in row 15. Good effort from Ben Atkins in the 50 car, and hopefully we'll see some more of him in the race. Kurt Reynolds along with him. Roberto Ricci in car 92 makes his series debut. The 51 car that Donzello is driving is making its first start. Daniel Mendoza in the 3rd Volpe and Davina Henton both made efforts to go for the pole, waved off their qualifying times, and put it in the fence. And, of course, they started at the back of the grid as a result. Zelda Ashby in the 55 car has been having motor problems all weekend, and it looks like they've resurfaced, so it doesn't look like car 55 will even make the green flag. Clavino leads the field to the green. Scott Bates is already making an aggressive move, going 3 wide. He's making up a couple positions early in that 88 car. Kingston in the 17 trying to make some headway. Kekkonen trying to come through the middle. And this is already looking good. Look at the 17 on the bottom. Making a move early. Here comes Scott Bates at the line. Car 88 has been dynamite quick all weekend. Slides under the 17 car. 4 wide, Cameron Taylor in that 6 car's first ever start in the Lennard International car on the inside, that light blue machine. Now, as I mentioned in the grid piece, Jacob Card was of course injured in an automobile accident. He is not here at the track this week. Cameron Taylor was drafted in to replace him. They've kind of called him the White Knight in shining armor because of the white roof that was put on that car. And look at Faulkner in the black 64, the Renisker car, making some headway. Now here is the 31, Argentinian driver Daniel Mendoza. This is his first ever TM Master Cup Series start. This is the first time he's actually raced outside his native Argentina. He doesn't speak any English, and Cyril Volpe is actually his race engineer, his crew chief of this race. Kingston in car 17, leading here. Look at Scott Bates in the 88, going by on the inside. The Team EFR cars really do well on the high-speed ovals. The 88 in particular, as Roderick gets to make some headway, and the former teammate Kekkonen pinching him down a little bit, but Roderick keeps it in there. Good long view here from the top of the stands, up the spotter stand. 88 car on the outside, Roderick to the lead. Kingston now making a move in the background, but that's Silver Gessler. Arto Kekkonen, who dominated the Grand Prix of Gravis City before a late incident, took him out of contention, trying to make up for that. He's trying to get a good run going. Now Mendoza, in 13 laps, has already gone from the back of the field all the way to the front. And he has taken to this. He's taken to this pretty well. This is he's raced in Argentina for his whole career, his whole professional career, and he's actually leading the points in Argentina's national tour. First ever major oval start. So we'll see how he's going pretty well so far. Another car that, like Mendoza, waved off their qualifying time and stuck it in the wall was Davina Henton in car 11. Now, Lynx Racing, of course, missed the Gravis City race because they weren't able to acquire business licenses there. Because a long story into that, but here is D'Souza in the KLTV Tremwell car 60, distinctive black and teal car. He's having a pretty good run, even though his teammate is out of the race. Davenport, car 84, also beginning to make his way to the front. His only win to date has been on an oval. Oh, no! Around goes Davenport into the inside wall. Stay down, and he keeps it off the wall. Who gave that guy a fucking license? And he's thrilled about it, as Davenport is able to rejoin at the back, it looks like. And there's Ricci Roberto Ricci in car number 92, who, like Daniel Mendoza, has raced mostly in Argentina, but Ricci is much older than Mendoza. He's 38, making his first ever TM Master Cup Series start, and you'll notice this is the first time Maximus has campaigned a car that isn't primarily purple. That is actually one of their first new and we're being told that Melanie Clavino and Lewis Kingston pit road penalties for cars 2 and 17, and we're also being told that car 7, which is Adrian Devereaux, is being investigated for shortcutting the pit lane. And I don't quite know how that works, but the pit lane here is curved. Derek Scheiter in car 19, they had the hood up on this car. Now, he's an Australian. He competes mostly in these types of race cars. Got his master license. He tried to get his master license for the Australian Tour, but he wasn't able to do that. Otherwise, Delgarmo Delgado Enterprises would have run him in a third car, but they weren't able to do so. We'll see how the rest of the field handles. Two very fast lap cars, and Scheiter, who has been very clean all weekend. And there goes Roderick on the outside of the 19 car. Scheiter holding his line just beautifully. That's what you're supposed to do when you're a lapped car. Hold your line, let the leaders dispatch you at will. I don't think Clavino and Kingston have any. They're fast enough to run with the leaders. The 19 car isn't, but Roderick 4 wide almost, thinks better of it. Scott Bates throws it on the inside. Roderick going to run in the middle to help his teammate Rossini out with a little draft. Alessandro Rossini is having a great weekend so far, and he's continuing that in the race. He needs to if he needs to want to keep his championship alive. So does Scott Bates, who is at risk of being mathematically eliminated from the championship. He's trying to avoid that, as is Luciano Savarol in the 5. Savarol, car number 5, moves up into the lead of the race. He's going to try to put the 2 car of Clavino a lap down, because Clavino is definitely a championship threat here. Here is Tom Moore, who moved over from the 19 car into the 26 car, which is renumbered 24 at his wishes. In the Team SAR USA car, he's having a pretty good run so far, even though the SARs. This isn't really a track I'd expect them to do terribly well at, but Team SAR USA has reportedly told Tom Moore to just log laps in this car and get used to it. Mariano Zavala, this is his first start of the year, his second ever career start, driving a Matthews Motorsports car. It's a pretty distinctive paint job, black and gold, kind of similar to the Katsevs in that regard, but this is one of the most difficult cars to pick out from the spotter stand. Especially given that we're racing here at night, but kind of hard to see that car. And same with this car, the 64 of Scott Faulkner. The Renisker Laboratories car is actually hanging on to the lead pack with the lead group of cars, and that's surprising. Faulkner does not have a whole lot of experience, kind of like Daniel Mendoza, but Faulkner in that 64 car, he's made a couple starts before, but his results so far have been relatively lackluster. Cameron Taylor beginning to make some headway in a race-winning car, and he's definitely not the way he wanted to get into a top-running car, but Roderick and Faulkner rubbing doors there, but Taylor showing that he deserves it so far. Peter Short in the 22 car going a lap down, but Peter Short's a pretty smart driver. He's going to stay out of everyone's way in this 22 car. The Peter Liner car has he's not really had a good weekend so far. They've been having problems with the balance of the car. Matthias Taub has had similar issues, but not nearly as severe as what's been going on with this 22 car. The Gesslers, you see him right here. It's a little surprising that between these two drivers right here, they only have one win. Dwyer in Sweden, of course, their third car won at Road America, the Lexus Rainsford at the wheel, but Kekkonen going by Dwyer into the lead of the race. Kekkonen has actually been the more consistent of the two. Kurt Pliskin in the 16 car. This is not exactly the type of track I would have expected Pliskin to be all that competitive on, but Pliskin has been one of the most difficult to predict drivers on and off the track. Local boy Gabe Macena in the SAR Brazil car. It's running fairly well. He's running in 23rd. Packer Carroll in the Manacor car. Car number 18. And there you see that lime green slice car. That's John Dilks in car 29, and that's a slide from Dilch. You might not have noticed that one. That car is loose, and he's hanging on to that thing. Dilch doing a pretty good job, and we got one car hitting. That's Reynolds, Kurt Reynolds. I'd like to see what Reynolds could do in a car that's faster than this one. Car 39. Cameron Taylor. Oh, looks like we got the Lenards are pitting. All Lenard engine cars pitting early. Rodriguez is in on the 86. He's had a row. Oh, looks like a lot of the cars at the back of the field as well are pitting early. But also, all the Lenard cars are pitting early. That might say something about fuel mileage for them. As Pliskin, Clavino. Now, what I understand is that Adrian Devereaux apparently was sort of cutting the pit lane a little bit by putting two tires over the white line under that first caution. Anyways, after that pit stop cycle, you can see the running order. Devereaux is now up to second in car number 7. Here you see Davina Henson's actually made her way through the field fairly nicely. And very slow stop for the number 4 Volpe team and for Arto Käkkinen. They had some pit stop dramas, had issues getting out of the pits. Now we're looking at Adrian Devereaux on the 7 car. You wonder if, oh, Mendoza! Mendoza in the 31 throws it on the inside of a lap car. That is Donzello in the Ortega car. I don't think Cameron Taylor saw that coming, but Cameron Taylor's hanging in there. As is Benoit Vukler. Now, what we've noticed is that the Tutino crew has been absolutely killing it on pit stops. They had one of the fastest pit stops with the Sporty 2 team. Vukler, in and of himself, has been doing very well lately, and could get Tutino's first ever top 10. He's been threatening on a couple of occasions to do so. Here's Chris Johans, an American short tracker in the 12 car. Now they've had a terrible season over there at Alert. They're not a terrible team. They've had a terrible year. But Chris Johans has Ben Atkins in the 50 car off the pace. And Ben Atkins holding the middle. No, he's not paying attention. No, he's swerving around in front of everybody. Ben Atkins. Now he's chopping off his teammate by moving. Now, can he pick a lane? I don't think he can. I think the lane he wants is to block his teammate, and come on. Yeah, he's trying to be in 3 lanes at once. I don't know what his deal is right here. There's plenty more racetrack to run in, and he's so far off the pace that he really should be brought off the racetrack. I don't know why he thinks it's alright for him to stay out there the way he is right now. He's moving up the... Whoa! Faulkner! Scott Faulkner around the outside! Puts it in the wall! Let's look at that! We mounted a rear camera on the 50 car, and that was good thinking on our part. Because look at this! Faulkner! Atkins commits to the outside. Faulkner's coming! Wow! Scott... Whoa! Now he's moving in front of Shater. What is he doing out there? Oh, someone breathalyze him. Adrian Devereaux shakes his fist at him. And Nasova's in trouble in the 10 car. Yulia Nasova, who is running in 15, has lost the motor on that car, clearly. And Nasova... Oh, no! There's Zavala and Dan McKay involved. Big accident over in 3. Big accident with Nasova. Alright, here's Nasova. I don't know why she's not pulling it to the inside. Maybe she thought they were 3 wide. And... oh no. What was Mariana Zavala doing? I kind of understand why Dan McKay piled that, but Mariana Zavala should have seen that from a long way ahead. That's a very bright colored car, and his spotter was, I think, had to have been telling him that there's a wreck and that there's a slow car, because Matthews Motorsports normally pays more attention than that. Anyways, Luciano Savarol leads the field to the green. The 73 of Ian Cooper is the last car in the lead lap. And he's going to fight for it if I know him. 51, the Ortega Motorsport car with Carlos Donzello's on the inside. No, Cooper's going to give him way. He's going to move over. He's going to move aside, give him room. The 51 and the 74, I believe, are racing for position. Adrian Devereaux's all over the back. Oh, contact with Olenek and Ricci. Roberto Ricci in the 92 and Joe Olenek make contact. Kuznetsov there as well. And there is some weaving around going on back there. Rossini makes a move. Savaral's has gotten his way through all the lap cars. So has Adrian Devereaux in car number 7. Makes a move on the inside of the 5 car. This is for the race lead. And they're 5 wide now, 4 wide. I think there was one, it looked like that would have been Henton who backed out of that, but Adrian Devereaux, the 17. Kingston's day has gone from bad to worse. The 17 car's pitted again. Here comes Kevin Dwyer in that gold and black Mayasoft car. Greg Woodard in the similarly gold. Oh! To contact between D'Souza and Ricci. Those guys are racing hard with each other. Gasper D'Souza, the Portuguese driver who has exploded out of the scene this year. He's been around for a couple years, threatened for a couple wins. Finally got his first 2 earlier this year. Clavino on the inside. Scott Bates in the middle. D'Souza way up high. Now this 11 car, Henton's car seems to be, looks like it takes her a couple laps to get up to speed. I wonder if that's just the way that the Lynx car wears in tires. If it's just way easier on the tires than everybody else. That's something I've been wondering a lot. Here is Rossini on the inside in car number 3. And Henton lets him go by. Henton has never won on an oval before. Their last win was Carial last year, and Dimwit of the Year has shown up again in the 50 car as they go 4 wide around him. And now he moves up in front of Faulkner again. Let's have a look at this. Devereaux hits the wall. The 7 hit the wall. I don't know why Devereaux was up that high on the race. Oh, he pulls in front of Faulkner again. And now Woodard makes a dive bomb and gets by him. Woodard goes by. Roderick follows him. Pliskin being smart. I don't know. Some people I don't think even realize what he's doing. Pliskin is probably giving him the evil eye right now. As there goes. Ben Atkins is costing a lot of people a lot of positions right now. I don't think I needed to say that, but Stoidler in the 13, Olenek the 23. Alright, McClavino now, trying to get a lap back here. Got a sea of blue cars here. Many different shades of blue. As Adrian Devereaux takes the lead back, Rossini and Savaral side by side for second. Faulkner's moved up into 5th in the 64 car. And Kuznetsov in this 15 car trying to chase down Clavino for 16th. That's a points paying position for him. That's what Cats of Engineering needs. Mendoza up to 8th in car number 31. He's had a fantastic debut in this car. Anderson directly behind him. Henton on the inside. Whoa! Big wiggle from Savaral. Devereaux is expecting Savaral to lose it. Chased it up the track. Rossini was paying attention. It shows you the skill of some of the drivers at the front end. Get him off the track already. Henton moves into the lead as Roderick tries to anticipate that car. This is a spectacle in and of itself. We got turn 5 up here. So we're now focused on him. Faulkner seems to be the car he seems to have a grudge against, and his own teammate, needless to say. So, you get to see. So it looks like everyone's ready for him this time. Everyone's going inside, outside, around him, trying to predict which lane he's going to block. The 73 stuck it in there, was getting ready to put him in the fence. Scott Bates of the 88 car is working his way back through the field. He's taking his sweet time, though. We're about two-thirds distance. This 88 car is still in the hunt. That's one guess as to who this camera's mounted on, as here comes the field. There is Devereaux, the leader. Devereaux makes a guess. He picks right. Oh! Savaral into the back of turn 5. That's, I think, what I'm going to call him for the rest of the evening. As there goes Gasper D'Souza on the inside. There goes Woodard in the 41. He's had a good evening. A good race, says Greg Woodard. There's Cameron Taylor. And everybody else. He continues to block Luciano Savaral in front of a very, very partisan home crowd. As there goes the 12 of Johans, and Scott Bates has now moved into the lead and stretching his advantage a bit because Adrian Devereaux and Davina Henton are busy trading second. Roderick moving in there in the 4 car, into frame, as is Clavino. There's Rossini in the 3 cars, fallen a little ways back from this. Now he's on his way back forwards. He just picked up the 60. Whoa! Big wiggle from Rossini. That Volpe is loose. Wow! What a slide. Falconer beginning to come back into the picture, as is Woodard and Dwyer. And Mendoza in the 31. As Daniel Mendoza. What a debut Mendoza's had. I mean, this is a guy that nobody but Volpe Racing Team seems to have really heard of. He was listed as a test driver for Hodges Walter Racing a few years ago, but that was because some people think was just the Colton Morell deal, because that's the car that he's racing in Argentina. Didn't actually do an official test with the team or anything like that, but there's Kekkonen in the background beginning to run him down. But oh, he's lost the motor! Oh no, from 6th place! Mendoza's lost the engine. Woodard's behind me. Oh no! Big pileup. Dwyer's in it. The 73's in it. Both the Catsips. Woodard's upside down. Oh, that is a big wreck and a big disappointment for Mendoza. Now watching here now, there's oil, has to be oil on the track, because they just slide into that, and Mendoza can't see behind the 41 in time to know which lane's clear, because they were...
If there were any justice in this world, that would have taken the 50 car out too.
So Mendoza, he doesn't know where to go. He thinks he should go high, and that's what he does, but I don't think it would have mattered. Somebody was going to slide on that oil and hit him anyway. There's Taylor. Oh, Taylor's in it. The 73 in it, the 51's in it, and some people aren't slowing down. Oh, no! No, there must have been more fluid on the racetrack, because I think Ricci was off the throttle almost completely. Didn't look like it. We're on board with Packer Carroll in the Old Tour Limited car. Yeah, Packer tried to slow down, but he wasn't going to slow down. Yeah. Some people had some interesting braking lines. And I don't think some people could slow down at all, because there was so much oil in the track that, well, when there's enough oil in the track, everyone looks stupid. Falconer lost a lap in the pits in the 64 car, but there's still a battle for all the top 10 positions. See there, Davina Henton leads the field to the green. There are some interesting looking cars. There's a couple of modifieds out there. With just about 25 laps to go, we got a trophy dash. Henton leads Scott Bates. Kekkonen makes a move. In the 9, Bates goes to the inside. Look at Davenport and Devereaux. Chris Davenport clearing the way for Adrian Devereaux in the background. Scott Bates moves to the lead of the race in the 88 car, thanks to a little help from Arto Kekkonen. Pliskin beginning to make his name known in his Lycoya, car number 16, Adrian Devereaux on the inside. Henton and Bates duking it out for the lead. Davina Henton has really come alive in this race, so has Scott Bates. You want to talk, Davina Henton was very, very demoralized throughout most of this year. Nearly had the ignominy of being the first defending Cariala Grand Prix winner to fail to qualify for the race the year afterwards. But I don't know where this confidence from Henton came from, but you can tell it's there. Roderick going by on the inside. He's not really a factor whatsoever. Bates is running second. There is Devereaux in the background along with D'Souza. Pliskin coming forward now as he makes his presence known at the front of the field. In car 16, here comes Gasper D'Souza in the 60 car. There's Rossini. Watch the, got a little bobbing and weaving in the background. D'Souza to the front of the pack. Someone way up in the cushion. That's Henton. As coming across the line, D'Souza's got the lead there. Here is a modified driven by Scott Stoidler, but he still scored 10th. I don't think he cares whether or not the front clip's attached. He wants championship points because that team needs them. What sight. Luciano Savarol in the 5 has now got the lead. Scott Bates second right there. Bates on the inside. He's probably going to get him going into turn 3 at this rate. Savarol, I think Luciano wants to get to the inside before the 4 car gets there. Falconer, 64 car, could be a factor back there as well. Some of these lap cars have been fairly courteous, but others, we got Scheiter in the 19 car. Derek Scheiter is fairly courteous earlier in the race, and it looks like he's continuing that. Derek Scheiter moves out of the way. Everyone going by. Oh, brother. Scott Bates. Go. Look out, boys. Scott Bates to the inside. There goes D'Souza. Luciano shakes his fist at Atkins as they go by him and shuffle him through the field. Jasper D'Souza back on point now. He won at Darlington, similar in the fact that it's a high-speed oval, but other than that, this track really doesn't have any similarities to Darlington, other than the fact that it's banked. Devereaux now is Devereaux back in the lead in car 7, the 60 car making a move. Davina Henton in the 11 car. Whoa, 3 wide. I don't think D'Souza's going to want to back out of it because, Henton, car 11, trying to get around, clear him. Yes, she does. Devereaux also clears the 60 car. Luciano Savarol and Scott Bates working together to get through traffic, trying to chase down the Lynx Racing car. Lynx Racing as a team has never won on an oval. So, wouldn't that be something if they were able to take this one? As Scott Bates in the 88 begins to move forward, as Scott Bates' last win was on the road, earlier this season at the Nürburgring. Roderick slides the 4 car. He's fighting for championship points with other cars. Look at that! Luciano from the middle to the bottom, off of 4. He's gonna nice crossover from the Brazilian in front of the hometown crowd. 2 to go. That time by. We're now at 2 laps to go. Scott Bates to the outside. Davina Henton in the 11 is there. Luciano Savarol. Roderick is there. Is Roderick going to be a factor? He definitely is. Scott Bates gets by Savarol as they take the white flag. 1 lap to go. Scott Bates is in the catbird seat. Roderick has got a decision to make, and he makes the professional one. He jumps to the outside. He's getting out of the way. Scott Bates trying to hold off 2 cars at once. As they come into the final corner, Scott Bates holds the middle line. He's drifting up the track. Henton makes a move. As he slides it coming to the line. Scott Bates wins it. Scott Bates in the 88 car. Look at this. Run to the finish line. He just held off Davina Henton by a nose as the very popular Oklahoma driver wins here in Brazil with Henton and Savarol, the local boy, completing the podium. Kurt Pliskin and Jasper D'Souza complete the top 5. Adrian Devereaux is still under investigation for that pit lane violation I mentioned earlier. Rossini, Johans, Taylor, and Stoidler completed the top 10. And Stoidler didn't even have a front end on that car. Well done to Scott Stoidler. Falconer, Clavino, Kekkonen, well done by all 3 of them. Riquetta, we didn't really see much of him at all. Vukler, good effort in 15th. Olenek and Taub, great runs for the 2 of them. And Cooper in 18th. Roderick had to soldier home. Couple laps down in 19th. And Chris Davenport rounds out the top 20. Davenport returning from a 1-race suspension. And let's have one look at the driver standings as they are so far. Adrian Devereaux has a pretty commanding lead in the championship right now, but if there were any penalties assessed to him, that lead could be cut down substantially. So as of right now, anyone 350 points or more behind him has been mathematically eliminated from winning this year's Master Cup Championship. That means Kevin Dwyer on back. One quick look at the Independence Trophy shows that Gabriel Messena, local driver, made up quite a bit of ground, but he does have a race in hand, so on 194 points, he could gain quite a few points on the leaders if he performs well in the next race, the Round of Argentina at the recently refurbished Autodromo Nestor Núñez.